Welcome to the Gaming Outsider Podcast. We've got a special treat for you this week as Ben Ruiz from developer DINOGOD is here to talk to us about his game called Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem. In news, we have some unfortunate news in the passing of the creator of the Ninja Gaiden reboot from a couple generations ago. As for new games, we've got a ton to talk about, including a couple of Halloween-themed pinball effects tables, a port of Blood West on PS5. Also, Alyssa, Mark, and Sean stop by to tell us about Dreams of Another, Bye Sweet Carole, and Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. We've also got a community at facebook.com/groups/thegocast, and even a Discord server. There's a link for it in the show notes of this very episode. It is Monday, October 20th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me is my good friend, Mr. Zach Parkerson. How you doing, man?
Dude, stoked to be here.
I'm stoked to be here as well, and Chris and Jake are not going to be joining us this week, but we've got a very special treat for you guys. We've got a special guest that it gives me great honor to welcome. You heard him on a Patreon episode in the past, but now he is here for a full-blown episode. The founder and creator of DINOGOD, with the upcoming title being released this Thursday called Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem, Mr. Ben Ruiz. Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Very glad to be here.
We are very stoked to talk to you. We got to talk to you it was like a year ago now. It's been that long.
A fun episode too.
It was a fun episode. It was a Desert Island episode, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to do another one of those.
I recall a weird amount of Yoshi Island talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went hard on Yoshi's Island. Yep.
Yes, that game. We've been doing a thing on our social medias where I've been putting like this game on this day in gaming history. This game released.
Yeah.
And when Yoshi's Island 2 came out, I got more responses on that game. So we are not alone, Ben.
Awesome.
We are not alone.
Awesome.
So before we get into the full episode, tell us about Bounty Star. I know we're going to go in more depth later on, but for people that have not heard of it, what is Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem?
Yes, it is a beautiful little thing that me and 6 other people have been working full time on for about 5.5 years. Coming out this Thursday, PlayStation 5, PC, Game Pass. It is mostly a third-person action game. You've got a kind of a Wild West narrative and a character who's trying to sort out some big internal stuff, some addiction, some military tragedy. But it's half a mech action game, people-sized mechs, and then half a base building game where you've got a little bit of farming to do, a little bit of home maintenance, some chores, and then you go back and forth between the two. Big Western aesthetic, big Western story.
That's what attracted Zach to it, clearly. I don't know. Zach loves the Western games. In fact, you got an addition to Pixel Ranch today, did you not, Zach?
I sure did, Scott. Thank you for the kindness. Yeah, Gunsmoke on NES.
Yeah. Every time we have an R2V2, I try to keep an eye out for something for Zach. And
sure.
So, yeah.
All right. It's going to look beautiful right next to Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger, the most underrated NES game of all time. That game is...
Yeah, it was really good.
Ahead of its time, man.
Yeah. And I also often tend to think about Sunset Riders on Super Nintendo, just for its super weird but fun gameplay. And the vibes were so good, too, you know?
Oh man, I played that one on arcade actually more than Super Nintendo.
Yes,
there was a machine right down the street from my house growing up, and my brother and I used to beat that game over and over again.
Yeah, that is a perfect sibling game too, because you can just go back and forth, and you're both shooting It was kind of like pre those really popular gun games because you're just aiming with the stick, Yeah, super interesting, remarkable game, kind of ahead of its time.
And then a bunch of memorable lines, bury me with my money.
yeah.
And then it got super racist towards the end, like that game would never get made nowadays kind of thing. But I had a lot of fun with that game. And surprisingly good port for Super Nintendo, but actually it was on Genesis as well. But I still feel like the joystick just really made that game. It was something special. So all right, well, let's get into the games we've been catching up on. Ben, what's been in your tray this last week or two?
I have been going really hard on Ghost of Yotei because, of course, I am. It's amazing. It is absolutely staggering. I loved the first one very much, but there's just something. They're so elegant and beautiful. But I think this week it's the first time I've had like time to game in so long, and I haven't been able to put it down. I'm like, oops, it's 3 a.m. I went and did all the things in this area. Whoops. And it's awesome. It's been terrific, but been going really hard on Yote. Yeah.
It's so densely packed. I feel like it's more densely packed than Tsushima was. It's like every time I trip, there's something I got to do.
Well, and I like their map feels a lot more fun. There's like, it's still big open world areas, but they're kind of nicely condensed into these little regions. They all feel kind of different and have like slightly different characters. But yeah, just running around. Like when it started, I just picked a direction and went, and then stuff immediately is happening. And it just kept being fun. Yeah. It's shocking.
Never felt overwhelming, because that was a thing for Tsushima for me, that I just never felt like there was too much.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of thrive in that environment, so I'm not really the demo for that question. Mm-hmm. I don't find it overwhelming because I love forgetting that I had 9 other things to do, and then I go and do them, and that's enjoyable for me. Okay. It makes sense when it's not, though, so I get it. It's probably a little cleaner than Tsushima was, I think. Yeah, it doesn't feel as dense.
So were you one of those people that fired up Assassin's Creed Unity and just went, yes?
No, but that's only because I burned myself out on Assassin's Creed a very long time ago. Playing them too hard every year, right?
Right. So they just gotten too big, man. I feel like we talked about this in the past, Zach, right? Like Assassin's Creed 2 is like not nearly as long as we remember it being.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I replayed it just this year, or at the end of last year. Yeah, it takes like 12 hours to 100% that game.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy to think about today.
Yeah, and they just kept getting gnarlier and gnarlier, and now there's 2 of them a year, and it's I love them to death. They'll always have a place in my heart, but yeah, just too much.
Shadows was great.
I heard that they just canceled one that was going to be based on the Civil War. I don't know how much truth was behind that, but could you imagine like an Assassin's Creed set in the Civil War? Man, that would get some people angry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what even is the context for the assassin character in that situation. Like, I guess they have to be like a northern soldier. You can't make like a Confederate assassin killing Union, generals and stuff.
No, based on the reporting, it was a slave who was going back to the South after the war to hunt down the Templars were helping found the KKK.
Classic. Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
It would have been super controversial. But
it would have been interesting to have. It would have to be like a shooter, right? A shooter open world. It would be something kind of different for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you'd have to have like some kind of one-shot flintlock mechanic of some kind, right? Yeah.
To kind of a musket. Guns. Takes you like 5 minutes to reload.
Guys, this is after the Civil War. They had 6 guns. Throw some repeaters around.
Speaking of Ghosts of Yote, Zach, you've been playing that as well, correct?
Yeah, Ben, have you been doing the bounties? Or are you bountied out right now?
Oh, for sure. Yes. and I'm curious what's the play style you're going with? They're kind of dictated by the armors, right? So like, what are you rocking?
Well, whenever I'm doing the bounties, I like to change my costume.
Okay.
I like to use the bounty hunting outfit, which is a little funny to do because the bounties are all boss fights, but it removes some of your parrying ability when you're wearing the bounty hunter outfit. So it just makes it harder. Yeah, but I couldn't not wear it, so that's why I rocked for most of the game. So I got pretty good at finding the perfect parry window out of necessity.
That's what I was kind of getting at. Is I've used that almost exclusively because that like leaning into the perfect parry is so fun, and it makes bosses like really twitchy and cool. And I have a hard time taking it off. Like I want to see more wolf, but doing perfect parries all the time is too. It's too beautiful.
When you're wearing that outfit, is like that little like it still shots to the screen like every swipe of your counter, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, Scott, I beat Ghost of Yote.
Nice.
Got the platinum because first party platinums are basically just spend an extra hour after you beat the game for PlayStation. I mean it's a great game.
Staggering.
I think some of the story in the third act loses me.
Sure.
I'm trying to assess it based on the story they're telling and not the story I wanted it to be.
Oh, right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Which is trying to be fair to the game. Because it goes directions I wasn't hoping it would, but what they do, I think they do it mostly well.
Let me ask you this. So clearly you like the game and you think I should play it, but ranked against other things that have come out, should that be a priority for me to be playing by the end of the year in terms of Game of the Year discussion?
It's fascinating because it is so similar to Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have like that, I guess, that new excitement feel in that way. Like for our podcast, yeah, maybe you should, because I think it'll be on my list, I imagine.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to get a lot of industry recognition come year end, to be honest.
Just because it's more of the same, and it's
well, it's been a crazy year, man.
It has been a crazy year.
They gotta have a slot for Bounty Star on there on the Game Awards, right?
Right.
That's one of the slots taken.
I'm gonna put in a vote for yes, please play it, because I played Tsushima only like a year and a half ago, not when it came out, and Yotei is still 100% fun and engaging and grabby. So I think it's worth still playing and seeing what it's all about. That's my comment.
We got a comment on the live stream from Jackie-san who said, Ghost of Yotei is like Tsushima, but dialed up to Kill Bill levels of revenge. I love it.
Yeah, agreed. It has that vibe. And literally it's like the whole theme of the main character is like reckless revenge. Like I can't think about anything else. And it's awesome. It's so rad.
I mean, there's not a lot of things cooler than using the blood of the people you kill to wipe their name off your kill list. Dude, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
And you see it immediately. So this isn't a spoiler, but it's like these beautiful shots of her like lifting up the fabric where she has these names and then like wiping the blood off her sword onto and it's like, come on, you didn't have to do that, but you did, and it rules. Makes every one of those kills super like cinematically wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else you been playing, Zach?
Oh, I briefly dipped into the Arc Raiders server slam because it was all the rage, and that's pretty good. This is I think I learned a lesson that Hunt Showdown maybe is not as much of an extraction oriented game as I thought it was. Because it's labeled as an extraction shooter, but you're not really getting loot. And Arc Raiders is like all about like finding wires and stuff to go back and craft at base.
Okay.
I didn't really realize it's what the larger genre, like Tarkov, I guess, is kind of like that from my understanding. Like
I've heard that's a very difficult extraction shooter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, what's fun about Arc Raiders is like the other players are obviously worth engaging. But it's like the enemies on the map, multiplayer maps, are way deadlier than any player, really. Like they have there's just like giant spider robots that'll leap at you, but if they land even near you, you'll lose all of your shield. Like it's pretty hardcore. It's in your best interest to go slow and stay quiet, and it's interesting. It's got an interesting kind of like, I don't know, 70s color aesthetic to it. It's pretty neat. It's like this.
I remember seeing this. Yeah. I didn't have time to play it, but I do remember seeing this and thinking it looked really, really distinct. What kind of game is it? Like a scavenging situation?
PvP VE extraction shooter.
Okay.
So you go in there with your, you bring in your guns that you have at your stash at base. And then if you die in the field, you will lose that gun forever.
Oh, okay, sure.
But with the components you're bringing back on different runs, you can like construct new weapons or higher tier weapons back at your base, and then over time you're growing more and more. One thing I do not like is that there is a skill tree in a multiplayer game, because I kind of just, I don't know, because it's not gonna end up in a situation where like a level 50 player is just demolishing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Have you been experiencing that where someone just like explodes you?
No, this is just going off of gut, because the server slam was pretty limited. Like you can only level up so many times. You can only do so many things at base. But it's an exciting foundation, and I think it's presented so cleanly with the UI, and the aesthetic is so, I think, easy to love, that I think this might be the extraction shooter shot at like a mainstream hit.
Awesome.
So I'm kind of rooting for him in that way.
Yeah, it looks really fun. It's not out yet. Have you been playing a beta?
Yeah, they did like an open. Okay. They called it server slam. I think they had a few 100,000 people in there over the weekend.
Stress test.
Stress test. Yeah. Well, I think it comes out the end of the month.
Okay. Cool. Of course it does. Everything comes out this month.
Dude, it's brutal. And then for spooky season, I played through another Dark Pictures game, House of Ashes. Not much to say. These are fun interactive movie games. But the idea of Iraq war story set in 2003, but also it's a vampire story is a pretty wicked cool combination.
That's fun, yeah.
And I had a lot of fun playing through it.
That's cool. And speaking of spooky season, I did throw it out there, Zach, to play some Dead Space 3 last week.
You did?
Just saying. We still need to make that happen. We've been talking about, Ben, for what, 3 years now to go through and play through
perhaps more.
Probably more, yeah. We had the Dead Space remake, which we played, reviewed, loved that one.
Yep.
Dead Space 2 is probably the best in the series.
Sure.
Fingers crossed that gets remade at some point in the future.
Yeah.
But Zach and I love the series so much. We played Dead Space 3 individually back in the day when it released. Okay. I don't think either of us have touched it since then. And we've been doing, that one's co-op. We've never played the whole thing in co-op. Let's commit to playing through the whole thing in co-op during spooky season. We've been talking about it for years. And it has yet to happen. So
I can't wait to experience the Dead Space 3 love triangle with a friend.
Right.
That would be great.
So I did reach out to try to make that happen this week. Unfortunately, Zach was not available, but we'll have to try again this week.
I only have the one TV, Scott, okay? Time is
I know.
Time is limited.
I got a man cave, and I can come down here and not have to worry about interfering with the TV with anybody else in the house. So
if you do that, will you stream it?
Oh, we could do that, Zach.
That'd be fun.
We haven't streamed a game in a long time.
That. I love Dead Space.
Well, especially with the cool stuff that they do with that. I wonder how that would come across as a stream, because it would only be one of our screens, right?
Sure.
Because if you remember, that game does things to mess with the players. Like one person will have something on their screen and it will not appear on the other person's screen.
Well, I guess people just have to open up 2 tabs and watch both of our screens at the same time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'd only ever played a single player.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't ruin that experience for you.
Awesome.
I think it's a selling point that there's hallucinations and
that'd be a fun 2-stream thing to watch. Yeah.
Right. Like I feel like we did it for a minute. Like back, we tried it just to try it out, and it was like, dude, did you see that? Did you hear that? And like, no, what are you talking about? Like that kind of stuff.
Okay. Right.
Well, if we can see like both of your screens, but you guys can't see each other's screens, now we're talking, because we know that shit's going down, right?
I don't know.
You're being messed with. You're not being.
I don't know how to make that happen. How do you have two? Like we're going to have to talk to our.
We both. I think we'd both just have to stream separately and advise people to watch both, right?
Yeah. Or a very complicated hardware setup that no one has the time.
Right.
Right. At least not at our level. Would love to talk about it, but as for me, Ball Pit is what I think the official name of the game now. You don't say the cross or X, it's just Ball Pit. Finally released. It's not in early access anymore. It is on Game Pass, so I downloaded it, had to try it out, and I won't go into too much detail, but guys, this game is so addicting. Zach, you've got to play Ball Pit. Like it is. It is.
Well, thankfully, there's no other games to play right now, so it's right in there.
At least give it a shot, because this is a time sink grind game that it's I'll just do one more run. You know what I mean? And the mechanics are so interesting. It's like Arkanoid, but instead of bricks, it's enemies.
Yeah.
And then you've got the you've got the Vampire Survivors. Once you collect enough gems, you pick an upgrade that you want to do, and it actually upgrades the balls that you're firing to do different things, like shoot lasers or make a little skeleton thing crawl from the bottom of the screen, and then you're doing this little crafting thing in between rounds to build up your little farm and trees and wheat and stuff, so that you can get better upgrades, and that's constantly expanding, and you're going deeper into the mine.
So there's some action gameplay as well as base building, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if only somebody else would come up with a game like that.
Recipe for success, maybe.
Yeah.
This looks devastating, by the way. I can't play this.
Why is that?
It will ruin my life.
Oh, because you'd be obsessed with playing it?
Yes.
Dude,
yeah.
it's really good.
Yes,
it's really awesome. Good. Mm-hmm. I played the demo on PC, because I didn't even know it was coming to console at first. I just played it on my Steam Deck. And I hit the end of the demo thing, but it would let you keep playing, just not let you progress anymore. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I know I'm going to play this thing, so I'm going to start fresh and do it. And I love it. The other game I finally got to catch up on, because like you, Ben, but for different reasons, I have not had as much time to play recently. Yeah. And I have been told by my co-hosts that I absolutely have to finish Clair Obscur Expedition 33 before the end of the year for Game of the Year talk. And I started it over because I did not remember the mechanics, and I just wanted to do it again. I'm officially back to where I was, actually past where I was.
Oh,
so I am. it's going much quicker this time. I feel like now that I know how the game works, I feel like it's way easier than I remember it being my first time through this game. But my goodness, that game is gorgeous. Like each time you go into a new area, it's like I can't believe how small this team is and how much love has put into this game. And I'm also learning that holy crap, the parries are way more valuable than I ever realized they were. So I am learning to parry, because parrying not only gets, allows you to do a what's the word I'm looking for? Riposte. It's not riposte. Counterattack, or that you counter and do damage to the enemy, but it also builds up your AP meter to allow you to do more devastating attacks on your next turn as well.
Cool.
So it's like compounded interest on your attacks, and it's just so satisfying. Plus, one of the attack, like if an enemy is attacking your entire party and you parry that, your entire party counters.
God, it feels so good every time.
It really does. It says like Expedition 33 counterattacks, and it just feels awesome.
That's fun.
It's really good. So I plan to finish that one. How long would you say that was, Zach?
Probably 30 to 40 hours.
30 to 40. Okay, so I got a ways to go.
Yeah, it's PS1 JRPG length.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm here for it. I'm just I think I'm going to avoid side stuff. I just really want to see what's going on in the story, because I have no idea.
Well, the side stuff doesn't really open up until near the end of the game anyway, so you're
okay. All right. But it's also difficult, like avoiding, I don't know what you call them, but there's like these glowing piles of stuff, and you have to find the 3 points of light to shoot it to make it unlock this rare stuff.
Oh yeah, little chests.
And I get stuck. I just want to go find that last one, and I give up finally, and I just go, because I just want to get through the game. I got a lot of games I got to get through these last 2-3 months. So that's what I've been catching up on, that game. It's also really interesting because I've been listening to the soundtrack nonstop for the past several months since the game was released.
Oh, really? Okay.
And now going back and playing the game and recognizing the songs. I mean, obviously the theme is prevalent throughout the entire game, but specific songs, like specific boss battle music, or, there's different battle themes in different biomes in this game. It's not like the same battle theme throughout the entire game, like in Final Fantasy VII or something, where you've got that song drilled into your head for the rest of eternity. This one actually has specific ones based on what area of the game you're in, which is just, it's fascinating. That soundtrack is like 6 or 7 hours long.
Oh, dang, yeah.
It's so good. Great study music. And I've never listened to a soundtrack that made me want to know what is going on in the story so much in my entire life. There's one track on that soundtrack that I've listened to over and over, and I'm like, I gotta know what is going on, because this just sounds epic.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
So, yeah, track number 58 on the soundtrack.
58, dude.
58, holy crap! Yeah,
I mean, it's in French, so I can't tell you the title of it because I don't speak French. But gorgeous game of the voice acting, and there's been lines in the dialogue. There was a line of dialogue yesterday that I need to go back and find, because it was very. I'm going to get myself in trouble here because we kind of keep things politics free here, but it was something that felt very akin to modern politics in what was said, and I was like, that almost feels like a dig without an obvious dig.
Sure.
Maybe off air we can talk about that, Zach.
They do the all too rare trick in video games of it sounding like people actually talking.
Yeah.
Rather than dialogue being read, which is super cool.
Seriously. Yeah. And it works even though like some of the mouth movements don't match up quite with the voice. Like it's just a little bit off, and the characters like their teeth are too big. You know what I mean? But I don't care.
It's all it's the French art design, dude, Just,
I mean, it's their first game, right? It's like you got to kind of give them, 30% or something at this point. But it just, but like you said, the voice acting is so solid and so engaging. When they first get on the beach and he first runs into Lune, and he's talking about for those that come before or whatever, or what's the rule that they were arguing about, whether or not they're going to break this rule,
or for those that come after.
For those that come after, and it was like she says to him, when they come after, not if. Right. And just the way that she delivered that line and looked at him, is it does not say if, it says when. And that just kind of struck me as like, this was a suicide mission from the get-go.
Right?
Every expedition is a suicide mission, and they all know it. So it's for those that come after us, when they come after us, not if. Not if there's going to be another expedition. We know you're going to fail. You're doing it just to go through the motions because that's what we do in this society. And I was like,
That's
he's got to get those 2 inches further than the last group, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And coming across the expeditions and finding out their stories and good stuff.
Super cool.
All right, I don't want to talk too much about that game that's already old at this point when so much stuff is coming out. Let's go ahead now and hop into the week's news. Just want to remind everybody, if you'd like to keep updated on some video game industry news, head over to thegamingoutsider.com. Our news team over there, headed by Mark Zemansky, is keeping things up live. We got a quirky action RPG adventure called Life/Death. There's a demo available for that now on Steam. You can read the story on our site. Also, Side Effects May Include is a 4-player comedy co-op with a demo available on Steam. You can read about that. And also, Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus. Remember that game, Zach? It is
of course,
now available on Switch with special physical editions from Limited Run Games on November 16th. Again, you can read about all those stories on thegamingoutsider.com. In sad news, boy, Zach, I apologize. I am going to mispronounce this. Tomonobu Itagaki.
Yeah, I like you had an extra U there. Tomonobu Itagaki.
Tomonobu Itagaki.
You just say Itagaki. He always did.
Passed away at the age of 58. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Also, the Assassin's Creed franchise has lost its leader, and sounds like Switch 2 might be getting some DS games. And lastly, Remedy has had to issue a profit warning. Lots of interesting stuff to talk about. Ben, you are our guest. Which story would you like to talk about?
I got to be honest. I had some feelings about Itagaki's passing.
Okay,
that was really so. I mean, he's been doing lots of interesting things for a long time, but for many years he was the director of the modern Ninja Gaidens. And so when I was in my phase of self-educating as a combat designer, he was one of a small handful of guys that were just doing that all the time. And it's kind of like a small club. There's plenty of designers who bounce around. He has too at different points, but I've studied his work for so many hours, and I have so many friends that love his different games. And there's just not a lot of those like dedicated violent combat designer guys left, and he was one of them. And so I definitely had some feelings about that. I mean, all those guys are much older now at this point. A lot of them are Japanese, so it's not like shocking. It's not out of the blue, but 58's not what I was hoping to hear at all. But his body of work is so strange and so cool, but so strange and troubled and just incredible to talk about. But that was big news.
And I learned something from Zach. I had no idea he was a graphics designer on Tecmo Super Bowl.
Like a star,
that's huge. I played the crap out of that game back in the day. So especially Tecmo Super Bowl 3. I don't know if he was on that one or not. Zach, do you?
Any Japanese designer we've heard their name, they started out doing something menial in the 80s and slowly climbed up the mountain. And that's why we know their name. They were just at it for so long. And they all kind of have this like funny origin story, like, oh, pixel art on this old football game or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Ninja Gaiden, my history with that game, I was working at Blockbuster Video when that game came out. And my coworker, I said, man, that Ninja Gaiden game looks awesome. I remember the old ones on NES. And he's like, oh, you don't want to play that game. It's just way too easy. And so come to find out, fast forward however long, he was talking about Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, Zach, because he said, oh, that game you just die and then you just rewind and do it over again. And that's the game he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that when I took this home to play this super easy game called Ninja Gaiden. And, took me 2 weeks to pass that first boss. You know what I mean? But then wound up falling in love with that, especially Ninja Gaiden 2. Just kind of perfected that whole formula. But that first game was great. Zach, I can't remember. Did you play those games?
Yeah, well, my best friend growing up, Chris, was a kind of an Itagaki fanboy. So we did play that Ninja Gaiden because he dared me to beat Ninja Gaiden. I had no interest in Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, but he was basically just like, you can't even beat this game anyway. I was like, I guess I have to now. So that was how I got started with Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 2 is also good, of course. But what I remember Itagaki for most was, well, for one thing, always looking cool. He always had sunglasses on. Dead of night, this dude's wearing sunglasses, leather jacket, smoking a cigarette. You're like, yeah, this is what every 12-year-old boy wants to be.
Yeah,
just making games about hot chicks on the beach. Shout out. He knew how to appeal.
Inches away from just being a Yakuza member.
For real, yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? This guy?
Who knows? Who knows? No comments.
That's really what happened.
He was just always an interesting guy. I always feel like when you would read a magazine article, he would just there would always be like a sentence or two of just straight up wild shit this guy was saying. And, you had to respect that. And speaking of Ninja Gaiden, right, there's a great anecdote of when they were doing the first play test, people were complaining that it was too hard, so he made it harder.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Good for him, man.
Dude, that game was hard. I remember
it was hard as hell.
I remember trying to reserve. What was those things that you would get, the talismans that would give you talisman of rebirth, right? Is that what it was called? That if you died, it would bring you back to life. And if I used it at a stupid spot, I would reload my save and go back so I could run through it again.
Currency.
I can't waste that there. I got to do it later. And then I remember specifically there was a level that was in a cave. And I remember sitting at the bottom of a thing just farming bats to get my health back up.
Yeah.
Just sitting here shooting this and trying to get that open. Because you had to cheese your way through so many parts of that game. Weren't you fighting a tank at one point in that game? Just straight up.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you fight on top of a Zeppelin in that game too?
That sounds right
pretty,
also.
It was pretty wild.
I mean, you could say anything at this point, and I'd be like, yeah, that tracks.
That's Ninja Gaiden, yeah.
And then the Alma boss fight at the end was so hard. So hard. No, actually, that wasn't even as hard as the first boss, because when you had to learn how to play the game, and I'm like, what do I do to this guy? I can't attack him. It took me forever to figure out if you run up the wall and do a downward strike back down. It felt so good to figure that out.
That's not the guy on the horse, is it?
No, but he was brutal.
Dude, that's a guy I remember.
Yes. No, the first guy was your teacher, your trainer.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, right in the dojo. Yeah. But the first real boss, the first actual enemy, was that guy on the horse. That was, dude. I almost quit. I almost gave up. Nope, I'm gonna do this.
Straight up mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not for nothing, Dead or Alive, right? Huge fighting game franchise.
Yeah. Wasn't that the one with the crazy button combos, Y, XX? It was just 15 long combos that you had to memorize in order to do that game.
Yeah, the screen transitions were cool.
They always Dead or Alive always felt like someone asked him to make Virtua Fighter or Tekken, but he still just went kind of crazy. That's what Dead or Alive always felt like, because it was all these wacky characters, but then you'd have these explicitly called out 10 to 20 button long combo sequences, right?
Yeah,
and it's also very, very much him. You can you felt him in those.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my god, I remember another. He was once asked to give his top 5 and top worst games of all time. I can't remember the best, but I remember top 5 worst because he was just Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken Tag. God. I love that.
Well, that is a bummer. Especially, I don't know what his involvement in Ninja Gaiden 4 was, but that game is just going to come out at the end of this month. And he passed right before it. That's
I don't think he's been at Team Ninja for quite some time.
Yeah,
I think it's been at least 4 or 5 years. He did not have a lot to do with Neo and Ronin, as I understand it. But all of these games are built fully on a design architecture he established. Right.
Yeah, because the last game he would have released was Devil's Third, right, on Wii U.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right, man. Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on, Zach, what story would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Remedy Games issuing a profit warning, which I think is a funny way of saying we're going to lose money. But of course, you'll recall FBC Firebreak did not do well earlier this year. In fact, it did quite poorly, despite being on Game Pass and PS Plus Extra. But they buckled down and did a major refresh and update. But while they said it sold some more, it didn't sell very well, which is a bummer. But it's so hard in today's multiplayer environment to waste your first impression. This is a shame, because FPC, I thought it was solid. Of course, I acknowledge fully that I'm a Remedy fanboy, but they went from expecting profitability this year to they're losing around €15, which is the entire cost of the game and its marketing. So it sounds like did not do well.
God.
Did you say €15?
14.9 million euros.
Million, okay.
Yeah, sorry. They lost $15, dude. They can't get over it.
We're ruined.
But they will continue to update and improve the game, while they will be balancing their future investments in the title. I think this is a shame on one hand, because I love to see the Remedy Connected Universe expand in any way.
Yeah.
And also, I think it would have been nice for Remedy, because it was self-published, so it would have been nice for them to have something that was bringing in constant cash and not needing to worry. Because remember, Alan Wake 2, despite being critically lauded and adored by fans, it took almost a year to turn profit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it'd be nice for them to have like consistent money coming in, but it sounds like Firebreak just didn't hit.
That's too bad. I admit I didn't play it, just because it's been one of those years, so I'm part of the problem, right? But I mean, I love Remedy as well, but I think the thing that is good on them for revealing this and admitting it and sticking to it and still supporting it. I think you and I were talking offline, Zach, about how like nobody shares their numbers with anybody anymore. So this is a rare instance of a developer explaining how much this game lost them and being transparent about it. I wish more developers did that.
Yeah, they're very transparent. They're like, yeah, Max Payne 1 and 2 in full production, Control 2 in pre-production. Like they're very honest and open company, which is super cool.
Yeah, love Remedy very much.
Yeah, me too.
Multiple kind of cousins now. They're kind of cousins now. They're embedded.
Oh, because Annapurna, right? Yeah. They have the media rights for the RCU stuff. Yeah. Or are they co-funding one?
Unsure, honestly, unsure. Yeah. I mean, I assume they're trading money for some cool reasons. But no clue. That's real high level stuff. Yeah, but cool, at some point, it would be cool to meet anyone from Remedy. We're all big fans, and they're one of those companies where it's like, please just let them live for a long time. You know, they're too special to just be another game dev statistic.
I've been itching to go back and replay Control, because I haven't played it since release. Yeah. Like it's been so long, it would feel like a fresh game again.
Yeah.
I mean, I already know the big fun thing at the end. The ashtray maze will be there, but still, I feel like it would still, hit some good nerves. I just what a game that was. So much fun.
Yeah, long live Remedy.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Switch 2, possibly getting DS games. I feel like this is something that people have been hoping for a long time. I don't think anybody actually thought it would happen, because, Switch has one screen. But a recent patent filing was discovered by YouTuber Mike Odyssey. There are 3 different modes described in the filing. There's dual screen, picture-in-picture, and a Switch mode. This, to be fair, does not confirm anything, but do remember the Wii U did have DS games, so this is something that could be possible. But I just want to know how this would work. Dual screen, what are you going to prop up your Switch on the top of your TV or under your TV? What does that mean?
I had not heard this. This is super exciting. But to answer your question, I can see 2 things happening here. I can see them doing the emulation thing where they're just putting the 2 screens right on top of each other in the middle of your 16:9 Switch screen.
Yeah.
But I can also see them coming out with a special controller, and then you turn your Switch sideways, pop this thing into the bottom, and now it's tall. Because they love weird controllers, right?
They do.
They've never shied away from that. And they're doing something weird with this, the Virtual Boy thing too. There's some kind of like peripheral to help you
it's like $100
stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something kind of weird so you can just play vertical Switch 2 stuff.
And that would actually be really cool as a pinball fanatic. Put that in a Switch, so you could play pinball vertically on your Switch, or shmups.
Yeah. Metroid Prime Pinball, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, dude, I totally forgot about that game.
Yeah.
Now I'm stoked. They're never gonna bring that to or will they? It is a Nintendo property.
I don't know, dude. The Virtual Boy came back. Anything is possible now.
That's true.
The doors are wide open.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
But what games would you guys want to play on this? Like, what ones would you want to go back to?
Come on, dude. Hotel Dusk Room 215, baby.
We were just
dude. Hell yeah.
Castlevanias.
I mean, you can play those now on the.
That's true. You can't play them now.
Dylan's Rolling Western and its sequel.
Which one?
Dylan's Rolling Western. You play as an armadillo skirting around. I think it was a download only DS title.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna make it to the platform.
Dude, you play as an armadillo and he's rolling around with this little 6 gun shooting other little critters, man. Hell yeah.
I never played it, so I hope they do it.
I was thinking the Mario and Luigi games. Those were on there. There were some really great Zelda. It wasn't Spirit Tracks.
Well, if you go 3DS, you get those Zelda remakes. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. How would that work?
Although they could honestly just release Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes on their own for $60 a pop,
and it would sell like hotcakes.
Of course, I would buy them both. So
every 3DS game could just be not 3D enabled, right?
Yeah,
because they all functioned like the person could theoretically never go into 3D anyway.
Well, I remember they had a 2DS was a thing, so they.
Right.
Yeah, I think there are some bonus levels in Mario 3D Land you can't play, but otherwise everything is no 3D enabled.
Oh, so, I forgot about Mario 3D Land. That was actually a solid game.
Yeah, it was.
I never had the 3DS though.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Ooh, I hope that happens.
I hope so too. I mean, and I feel like that price for Nintendo Switch Online has got to come up at some point, right? Like, it still seems stupid cheap.
Yeah,
$20 a year.
Right.
I just can't get over that.
Compared to Game Pass is $360 a year.
It's just absolutely insane and well worth it. I mean, and we're doing the family plan, right? Where like you get 8 people for $80, and then we each pay $10 a month for that.
Yeah,
for $10 a year.
$10 a year. Yeah,
just insane. And what I mean, I say that, and I can't tell you the last time I even opened one of those.
But it's there if you need it.
It's there if I want to do it.
Wind Waker. You played Wind Waker
for like 2 hours. I didn't finish it. I never went back to it.
I think 2 hours of Wind Waker is worth $10. Personally, I think you did all right.
I agree. I need to go back to that. That game is fun.
Yeah.
When are we getting more GameCube games? By the way, I feel like we haven't. They did those 3 at the beginning. We had that and F-Zero and what was the other one? The fighting game.
They gotta get Star Fox Adventures on there, man. Dinosaur Planet.
Oh yeah,
your obsession with that game is so weird.
It's a great game because I've had to defend it since I was like 14 or whatever because no one understood.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you liked it back then, you've been fighting for it your whole life.
Decades I've been fighting this fight, Scott.
We did that for a break the seal or something. Chris and I did. I'm like, dude, this game is terrible. This game is
mine.
This game is awful. I mean, as a kid, I was disappointed because all I wanted to do was get back into an R-wing, and here I am going around swinging a staff. I'm like, this is not Star Fox. But
dude, I was ready. I was ready for the whole series. I was like, let's get Fox McCloud on all these little adventures.
All right. Well, that is the week's news. Very quickly, remind everybody about the upcoming cruise. If you'd like to hang out with the Hollywood Outsider or the Gaming Outsider crew, mark your calendars July 19th through July 26th. We are going to Vancouver, British Columbia, and then doing various stops in Alaska. I believe the spots are almost gone. I hope they're. I should have checked with Aaron from the Hollywood Outsider before I said this, but when I listened to his show, he said the rooms are almost gone, and I don't know what the cutoff is. So if you're interested, check out the show notes of the episode very quickly. You're going to want to check it out. Zach and I will be there. It's going to be a blast.
That many people want to go on a cruise with us? A little surprised.
What's that?
That many people want to go on a cruise with us.
Well, it's not just us. It's also the Hollywood Outsider.
I understand. Yeah, we're kind of sister shows. I don't know if you got the memo.
I mean, once they added us, all of a sudden it almost sold out. So
what are the odds?
Just saying. All right, well, let's go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, what is coming out on the horizon that people can pick up this week?
Yeah, starting this Friday, October 24th. Once Upon a Katamari, the latest in the long-running franchise, comes to PS5, Xbox Series console, Switch, and PC. Chicken Run Egg Extraction. Scott, I know you're a huge fan of the film property. Comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Dora Rainforest Rescue. I know, another hot one for Scott. Going to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, PC. Fast and Furious Arcade Edition. This is, your local Dave & Buster's Fast and Furious game brought to console. That's coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Switch. That is a very weird decision. Over on October 27th, we have Escape Simulator 2 coming to PC. I'm sure there'll be Jake's choice. The Seance of Blake Manor coming to PC. Mall Simulator 2025 comes to PC. The simulator boon, man, right? The bubble just ain't bursting on the simulator games.
Yeah.
October 28th, Recreation comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. Simon the Sorcerer Origins comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Probably the big one, October 29th, The Outer Worlds 2 comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. And on October 30th, we see Arc Raiders, which we talked about a little bit earlier, comes to PS5 and Xbox Series consoles as well as PC. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch 2, Switch, and PC. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. This is the latest Digital Eclipse history lesson that comes to all consoles and PC on October 30th. Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home, the latest farming simulator, comes to PS5, Xbox Series console, Switch, PC. And then finally, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles. What's from this list, Scott, is looking the most exciting to you?
I'm going to say Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, just because growing up, I was a Street Fighter guy. I kind of missed the Mortal Kombat era, especially the earlier games. I played them, but I was definitely better at Street Fighter. I would love to go back and learn some of this history, especially after talking to Paul Niemeyer, who was our special guest at R2V2 this last year. He is the one that created the iconic Dragon Circle logo. And hearing stories from him about the early development, and I want to kind of see how much of that they go into in this history lesson. So yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Yeah, what about you, Ben? Did any of these games jump out at you? Are you a big Dora the Explorer guy?
No, but I was surprised to hear something called Simon the Sorcerer Origins.
Yeah,
I remember an old adventure game called Simon the Sorcerer that I loved. It's one of the few adventure games I ever had the patience for because it was full of beautiful animations. So I have to look into that. I've never heard that until just now. I was like, what? And there has not been a Simon the Sorcerer game in 30 years. So now I'm just like really curious.
Well, I'm glad you were here to clear that up because I was wondering, because the part of the description on the Steam page is like, witness the origins of the iconic Simon the Sorcerer. I'm like, is he iconic? I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
I guess he did exist.
It was a CD-ROM adventure game, so that's why it had all this great animation. I think it's probably iconic for animation nerds.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a point-and-click adventure. If you look at it, it looks. Yeah. I've never heard of it either, so this was new to me as well. But
but I'm with you, Scott. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. These things are cool.
Absolutely.
I would love to talk to somebody at Digital Eclipse and understand what counts as a Gold Master game and what doesn't, and why they make the distinction. But because they all kind of feel the same. But yeah, I'm always excited for these interactive documentaries.
I need to go back, and I didn't do the Jeff Minter one. I didn't do the one on Karateka.
Did you do the Tetris one?
I did not do the Tetris one.
Wow, okay,
It's been a busy 6 months, man.
I think those came out 6 months ago, but that's all right.
It's been a busy 6 years.
Well, the Karateka one is great, especially if you love Jordan Mechner, as we all should.
Never played Karateka, so that would be like completely brand spanking fresh to me. So
cool.
That'll be my my New Year's resolution for 2026 is to go through and play all these like history lesson games. There's Atari one too.
Yeah, Atari 50.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How would that be possible when you're playing all these pinball tables like Scared Stiff and Elvira and the Party Monsters on Xbox Series X?
I will make a way somehow, but yes, I was given codes for the latest 2 tables that came out this last week on Pinball FX, and I got to say a couple things about these tables. Be real quick because nobody wants to hear about pinball. I got
somebody does, dude.
Somebody
does.
Do. I freaking love pinball. So here's the thing: is I've never played these tables. These are ones that are like actual real tables that were recreated. These are ones from like the '90s. They got that very '90s flavor to them. I have no connection to the character Elvira at all. Even as a kid, I was like, I did not understand. I felt like she was on advertisements for beer and anything, and I was just like, this just looks something like my grandpa thought was hot. You know what I mean? Like it just felt old at the time. I had no connection.
Call me grandpa, because Elvira.
Really? Man.
Yeah, man. You might be alone there.
Okay. Apparently I am alone there.
If you were like the right age when you saw Elvira for the first time, you're stuck with her forever.
Really? Just the hair just bothered me. The hair did nothing for me.
you might have been like a little too old or too young, right? Like if there has to be an alignment there, but then if it happens, like you're busted. You're Elvira for life.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, I watched her movie just for the first time a couple weeks ago.
I'm still like, they're not that good, but like I'm still gonna watch and have a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, having no connection or like real interest in the character, I was surprised at how fun these tables were.
Awesome.
Very, very accessible, especially because they are recreations of original ones. I feel like the physics on the ones that are recreated, that are physical tables that they recreate digitally, the physics always make them very, very difficult. My favorite table of all time is the Getaway 2. And when that came to digital, I was like, man, this feels a lot harder than it was on the actual physical tabletop. And both of these tables feel very, very accessible early on. And I had a good time with both of them. So I feel like they would be good entry points for somebody. If you're looking to get into Pinball FX, I feel like these two are both really good. They've got the classic 90s LCD screen that still is on there. The sounds are there, but then it's got like most of these Pinball FX tables, it's got the extra animations and the voices and stuff like that. Fun. So they are fun, and it's it's Halloween season too, so they're definitely Halloween themed. So yeah, Scared Stiff, which is exactly what it sounds like, and Elvira and the Party Monsters. They're both worth a look. I didn't think I was going to dig them too much, but they're a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to going back into them.
Elvira always scared me stiff.
That's exactly what they're going for. All right, Zach, I want to hear about Blood West. This is a port that you're playing on PS5. It's also available on Xbox and PC. Where was this originally?
It was on PC originally, December 2023, I think.
Okay, so it
was the first game I ever played on Steam Deck.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one definitely holds a special place in your heart, outside of the fact that it's a Western.
Yeah, well, yeah, broke in the Steam Deck. New Blood's cool. I actually bought a poster for Blood West.
Really?
So the passion runs deep. It is very much inspired by Thief by way of Stalker. I haven't played Stalker, but I always hear that name thrown around when I look into Blood West, but it always reminds me of Thief. It is a supernatural horror Western, and you play as the undead gunslinger who gets brought back to life to kind of rid the land of the curse, basically. And it'll be this wide open area, and it'll have these points of interest across the map, and you're kind of guided towards them, but you're largely left to your own devices on how to survive in this world, because death comes fast. Stealth is pretty essential. Gunfights are rare. If you do get into a gunfight, you want to make sure you have a smart first move planned, because you're not the monsters move quick. You die quite quickly, and those old 6-shooters take a while to fire. So you gotta be ready. But it's better to sneak around. So very self focused. But what makes it very addicting is that in almost every building there's like something to find, right? Like loot you can sell or items to find, but you can so many unique items have interesting things that can happen, like the decapitator double barrel shotgun. If you get a headshot, you get some health back. But is that really worth it since it's so loud?
Sure.
And it's just a lot of freedom to plan your own build. Like this time I was going really into being drunk. Because there's a lot of perks you can get for actually when you're drunk, your accuracy improves. Although when you sober up, it'll be even worse than before.
Yep.
A little trade off.
Kind of like when I'm driving. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
Go to jail. Oh my God. Canceled by the law tonight.
Yeah, dude, whoa. But yeah, it has a very kind of a retro aesthetic, sort of PS1 visuals or classic PC. And it's just a really cool world to be in, cool environment. Everybody's saying creepy stuff. Do you have any questions here, Scott?
I mean, not really. I mean, you love the Western, so is this scratching that itch like everything else?
Yeah. And I was a little bit worried because when I played it on Steam Deck, it was actually before New Blood Interactive got involved with Blood West, so it was very indie, and it was not well adapted to controllers. Inventory management, especially, was somewhat disastrous. But it is nice in this port. It is, it is made for a controller this time. And the inventory I don't think is like perfect, but it is so much better than it was that it's hard not to, appreciate it.
Nice.
So that's really nice. And it has a weapon wheel. Shout out, console lovers love a weapon wheel.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a hard game, but it is a punishing one. So like if you do die, your soul will be cursed, and it'll be something like every time you get hit, you'll bleed out 5% more, something like that. But then as you continue to die, the curse will worsen. So it gets worse and worse for you to die and die. And then if you get all the way, I think it's actually called soul flaws, and then they compound into a curse. And then you have to do like a side quest to remove the curse. So it can be punishing if you're not paying attention, or if you're not finding gold coins, which you can curse gold, which you can use as currency to remove or to pre-game not losing a soul flaw. There's a lot going on, is what I'm saying. The act structure is really cool in this game, because so you do act 1, right, and you finish it, you fight a boss, but by the end of it, you're starting to feel pretty powerful, right? You have you've got your armaments, you've got your Orb of Night revolver, which does extra damage to ethereal enemies. Good stuff. But then when you get to Act 2, there's not really any ethereal enemies right away. And all of a sudden, the enemies have leveled up. And yeah, you get to keep all your gear and keep all your money. But, now if you go to the store, you're like, I have like $5,000. I could buy everything in the store in Area 1, but then you get to Act 2 and you can buy like one weapon, right? So it's just balanced very well for you to kind of you can't just like steamroll through.
Yeah. Some of my favorite roguelikes work that way, where like you get this one area down and then you get to the second area and you're just overwhelmed, but you just keep grinding through it, and then that one becomes second nature, and then that cycle just keeps repeating and repeating until you just feel like a god by the end of it. So I do like that loop as well.
Yeah, the bosses in Blood West can be tough because they are action oriented, but they often have a like the first boss, you can destroy parts of its roots. It's an evil tree, but through stealthing through like its root system, and then for when you actually go to the action part, it's now at half health. So there are clever ways for you to combine stealth with the action. I don't know. It's just a remarkably developed game, and there's more content than there was originally. Here on console, you can get the Dead Man's Promise DLC, which stars Red Pepper, if you remember, from Shadow Man, as the main character. Guess not.
Awesome.
And but it's super cool. Steven Russell of Thief fame voices the main character, in case the Thief connection wasn't apparent enough. Yeah, I love this game to death, and I recommend it.
Red Pepper in Shadow Man.
He was the main guy. He was Shadow Man.
Like the guy's real name?
Yeah, well, I assume that is his performing name. I doubt he was born as.
You're talking about the actor.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the character as well.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Shadow Man was in Dead.
Apologies.
That's wild.
No,
okay, I'm with you.
I can't remember. There were several Shadow Men. I know one of their names was Jack Boniface, which was pretty funny.
Rad.
It's very
Mona. Or was there an in there?
Bonnie, Boni face.
Boniface. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very comic book name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Anyway, everybody, if you like stealth games, play Blood West. If you like punishing games, play Blood West. If you like westerns, play Blood West.
So bottom line, play Blood West is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, man, is definitely play Blood West. It's on PlayStation 5 and Xbox now. You can play it on Steam Deck. It's verified now, so you're going to have a better time than I did when I first played it.
Nice.
And it's going to be a good time.
There you go. Developed by Hyperstrange, published by New Blood Interactive, and I believe the developer hooked you up with a copy directly, right?
The publisher did, yes.
Publisher did, I'm sorry. But if you want to pick it up, it is $29.99 on PS5, Xbox, and PC. Moving on, Zach, you want to talk about Keeper? Did you get a chance to play Keeper?
Yeah, you and I both did, right?
Yes, we did. I'm curious about your thoughts of this game. Ben, have you played this one or seen this one at all?
Not familiar.
Okay, so Keeper is the new one from Double Fine. It's only on Xbox and PC currently. It's on Game Pass. It's just where I checked it out, but you can also pick it up for $29.99. I downloaded it on Game Pass just because everybody kept talking about it, and I have a lot of good memories of Double Fine games. Back in the day, like even playing this one, I just felt like I was hopping back into the summer of games deals back on Xbox back in the day.
Yeah.
I felt like one of
Summer
those
of Arcade,
titles.
yeah.
Summer of Arcade, thank you. That's what it was. So if you're not familiar with this game, this is a game where you play a sentient lighthouse.
Hell yeah, you do.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you're just a lighthouse that sprouts legs and gets up and starts walking around, befriends a green bird by the name of Twig, and you're kind of walking around just learning the lore and figuring things out as you go. What was your first impression of this game, Zach? I don't know how far you got. I got about, I don't know, an hour and a half in, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're probably around the same point then. Yeah, I mean it's what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Very dialogue-free adventure. I guess how much could a lighthouse really say?
Right. He got a bright idea.
Jeez, I'm gonna peck your eyes out. And it's a lot of walking around, enjoying beautiful scenery, and there are some light puzzles. They haven't been really tricky so far.
Yeah, they're pretty simple.
Which is fine. I think it's going for more of an experience feeling, right? The game most reminds me of is Journey. Although Journey,
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, although Journey, I guess, didn't really have puzzles, but it's like Journey with occasionally you have to shine a light on something, because that's
Right.
been the length of the puzzle so far. About an hour and a half in is shine your light on things.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Which the mechanics are interesting because the game has a fixed camera. Like I felt very reminiscent of original Resident Evil or Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, right.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's an interesting way to do it because the game is designed for you to constantly have your focus on something. And it's doing it without making glowy bits or a little twinkle to get your attention there. The camera kind of forces you to look at things in specific ways. So it's never really a big question about what you're supposed to do next, but what you are supposed to do next is always very simple. It's not overly complex, at least as far as I am. Would you agree, Zach?
Yeah, for sure. But this is kind of, this is a little bit different with Double Fine, I think, because they're a little bit usually more involved, I guess, with clever mechanics when I think of Double Fine.
Yeah.
But I like seeing them stretch their legs, and this is kind of like what I had hoped Game Pass would help their first party studios do all those years ago.
Right. Was
let these big studios use Xbox's infinite money to make weird stuff.
Yes. I actually listened to IGN's Xbox podcast with Ryan McCaffrey today, and they actually had Tim Schafer and the producer of the game as well on there. And hearing them talk about it and hearing the hosts react to the game makes me want to push through and see it through to the end, because it sounds like some crazy stuff happens, both story-wise and art-wise, that it's going to make it difficult for me to not just push, because it's supposed to be like 5 or 6 hours,
right?
And I just want to kind of do that. But my early impressions of this are like, this is a very mechanic. There's very few mechanics to do. This is not a game that is designed to be fun to play. It is a game to be an experience, like Zach said. So, so I'm not loving it, but also part of that is I wanted to check it out to see what all the buzz was, when really what I wanted to be doing was playing Clair Obscur. So that was probably putting a damper on my experience a little bit, just because my mind was elsewhere. And I was waiting for this thing to be awesome, and it hasn't been yet.
I would say the one thing that is for sure about this game is that you got to be in the mindset for it.
Right.
It is kind of a slow, experiential kind of game, right?
Mm-hmm. It looks beautiful, but it does look like it's very much like a first gear.
You got to be in a chill headspace. You can't be itching to play Expedition 33 for sure.
Right. But I mean, you mentioned Journey. I had the exact same thought, because a lot of Journey is just you pressing up on the joystick, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are moments of this game where you are just doing that, and it's and I feel like it's intentionally done because they want you to spend less time playing the game and more time just observing what they've created artistically around you, which is genuinely interesting.
Yeah.
It's fun to look at and just see what's going to happen next, and to not have that hanging around your neck about it's going to be a struggle to get through this part. No, it's just a chill game that's about the vibes. if that makes sense. So,
and not for nothing, I've never played as a lighthouse in a game before.
That's true.
Right. And that was part of the appeal too. Is like it's something that's completely different from anything I've ever played before.
Yeah.
And I want to check it out. I just wish, I don't know. I wish it'd come out at a different time where I were, like you said, in the right mindset.
It'll still be there in a couple
I know,
weeks.
man. But you know me, man. As soon as the game is like a month old, it's really difficult for me to get back into. I mean, especially with a game like Claire Obscure that you told me is going to be like 30, 40 hours, and I had to start over. You know what I mean? It's now I'm to the point that I'm so obsessed with that game that I am. You know, I was watching a football game yesterday, and I sneaked down here during halftime to just get in a couple battles just to make some progress. You know what I mean? My wife was like, "Why'd you go down and play a game? There's only like 10 minutes to halftime." I was like, I got to get through this game. I'm like on a mission, and I got a long way to go. So
I have to stop the painters, honey.
Oh my God, that story is so good. So good.
At some point, this will reappear in front of you, and circumstances could be different, and now you've got room for it, right? Like if it's meant to be, it'll happen. That's my experience with games.
Yeah,
like,
Ben, that's amazing.
Later, you can see it and go, "Oh yeah, that I have a weekend. Let's go."
That's amazing, but I've got about 400 other titles with that exact same MO.
Absolutely. And it could never happen, right? But it might.
But it could.
Let it happen. That's what I say.
A peaceful experience one day, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, keeper."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep having that thought with Dredge. Dredge is a game that I want to go back and do because that one.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love
that.
Dredge.
That was a really interesting game and up my alley, and I was really digging it.
Just a good October game.
Yeah, totally.
You can fish for haunted fish.
Totally.
But thanks for shining a light on that, Scott. You've also been but ready your ears because you've got some earbuds to talk about. The Cloud?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Loud. Bluetooth wireless
CC Loud? Yes. Yeah. So full disclosure, I was contacted by this company, CC Cloud, or actually the PR rep is, As Ice Tech. It looks like As Ice Tech.
Asus Tech? I don't know.
Anyway, they contacted me and said, "Hey, we got these new earbuds. We want you to try them out. If we send you a pair, will you will you check them out and give us a review?" And I'm like, I like earbuds. I've got quite a collection, and I checked them out. So I've got you guys can see them right now. They look kind of familiar.
Very AirPod-esque case design.
Very AirPod-esque, and the case is a little more cheaply designed. The plastic is a little bit not as solid as an AirPod, but I tell you what, these things sound just as good as AirPods. No joke. These sound great. There's a couple features on this that I like really, really that I like a lot. One is much like AirPods, they let you put one in. You can put one in the left, one in the right. I feel like I use AirPods with one in my ear as opposed to two, because I always want to make sure I'm hearing other things in the house or whatever. Or I kind of fall asleep watching movies on my phone. And then so I'm laying on my side. I have to have one in my ear. I can't have one on the one that my head is down. So that is very nice. I had a pair of really expensive AirPods that we reviewed in the past, and those only let me put one in if I put it in my right ear. So if I sleep on my right-hand side, that makes those worthless. So that's nice. Something else, this is a little thing, but I'm surprised at how much it is or how much I'm enjoying it. But when I take these out of here, if I leave the case out, a little light pops up when I open up the case. So you know how like if you're in the dark and you're trying to fumble to put these things away, little light pops up so I can kind of see that in there. It's nice. These things are shaped. I like the shape of these better than the AirPods that I have. I think I might be in the second generation of AirPods. These stay in my ear a little bit better. Sound is great. I'm perfectly happy with this. But the best thing, these things are $50. You know, if you go shopping for AirPods, you're looking for the current model at least $170, $180. Yeah. So for almost a quarter of the price, you get something that if you lose these, you're not out a couple $100. You're out $50 and can replace them very easily. Very happy with them. I haven't tested this theory, but the website says that these things are supposed to last like 32 hours before they die.
Nice.
I'm a person that charges them my earbuds every night. Yeah. So I'm not really testing that theory, but if that's true, that's solid for a pair of $50 earbuds. So again, CC Loud Bluetooth wireless earbuds. There's a link for them in the show notes if you're looking for a replacement. I really do recommend these, and I'm not just saying that. They're not paying me to say this. I don't get paid if you go click on a link and buy it. They just sent me a pair and said check it out, and I'm really happy with them. So
nice.
There you go. Before we move on, we got a couple other reviews to talk about. Mark, Sean, and Alyssa stopped by to talk about some games that they've been playing, and we're going to play those for you guys right now. Thanks, everybody. As always, it's great to hear from you. And before we head on to our From the Outside In topic, I want to remind everybody about social media. If you'd like to follow us, you can do so at facebook.com/groups/the GoCast or Discord. We've got a link in the show notes for that. And also our website, thegamingoutsider.com. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Mark and the rest of the news team, Sean and Paul, are working feverishly every day to post news articles on there, and I highly recommend you check it out, thegamingoutsider.com. But you can also read our written content. Mark has a review for Eartheon that is available on the site, as well as Forgotten Fragments. You can check that out, again, thegamingoutsider.com. With that, it is time for us to jump into our From the Outside In topic. You guys already know we have a special guest this week. Ben, it's been great talking with you. It's fun to have a guest that doesn't want to be here just for an interview, but actually wants to kind of be here for the whole show. And it's been a lot of fun chatting with you about news and the games we've been playing. But the real reason we wanted you to hear is to talk to us about your game. Again, the title is Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem, which, man, I love that title.
Yeah.
I know it's a mouthful, but every time I read that, I'm like, I just want to know more about this game.
Dude, I'm stoked you got the subtitle, because I remember when we talked about last year, you said it was still kind of up in the air.
Right. And I'm happy to say that people respond to it actively enough that it was worth fighting for. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, using the word morose in a game title, as well as naming somebody Graveyard Clem, I think is both like, whoa, what's going on here?
What a great word, morose.
Yeah,
right. Always loved that word.
We're not using it enough.
We're not. I remember it was used in one of the Kevin Smith movies. I think Jay said, he's like, look at this morose mother effer right here. I'm just like,
while you are right, that is just not where I expected anybody to go.
Yeah. Where else do you hear the word morose?
Maybe
in a Coheed and Cambria lyric somewhere. But let's see. So this game is published by Annapurna Interactive and is releasing this very week, October 23rd. We talked about at the top of the show. You might remember Ben, if you listened to our Desert Island episode featuring him. We had such a fun time. We could not wait to have you back here. So what more can you tell us about Bounty Star?
Oh, it's been about 5.5 years, maybe 6. So I'm so glad to be at the end of the journey. I am very proud of it. So regardless of what happens, we are very proud of it. So it's coming out Thursday, and it's pretty realized. It's one of those things where it's like, we had a bunch of big ideas up front, and I'm very active about cutting room floor. Like if it doesn't make sense, if it's not going to make the thing better, just cut it, move on, get things done. And of course that happened, but the amount of things that were sort of stewing in the very beginning of the project that actually made it in is pretty awesome. So feel really happy about that too. But it's pretty realized. I think I think people are going to really like the story. I think we were able to get a nice start to finish small cast narrative done. And we were able to, I think, punctuate like the right moments. I am feeling good about it. But I also have there's the director impulse to like not get too excited just in case, right? Yeah. So of course I'm like kind of fighting that, like, it's gonna tank, it's not even gonna work, who cares? Don't think about it, protect myself, blah blah blah. But the reality is I think it made a pretty cool thing. So we'll see how it goes. My stress level's pretty low, which is nice.
Oh, hey.
That's not usually the case.
I was not expecting that answer with the game coming out in 3 days.
Well, truthfully, God bless my team. Holy crap. We passed certification on everything on the first try, which is an unprecedented. Our engine is really tight. We are very organized. That's not true. There was one Steam failure, but that's because of a screenshot someone upload. Yeah, it was a very weird, like, there isn't enough action in this screenshot. Please re-upload it. Still still a success. Like, as far as
please include another gun.
Right. Yeah. So certified on all the platforms on the first try. We are Steam Deck certified too, which I was really excited about because I think the Steam Deck is cool as hell. But yeah, like we were kind of like, we knew it was ready to go maybe 6 weeks ago. And I think that's why the stress levels are low, because generally speaking, you're doing things until the very last second. And we've been very fortunate to be hyper organized ahead of time. So yeah, like, it's good. I have marketing things to do here and there. Like, I wake up to a couple messages where it's like, hey, Ben, like, schedule this interview, or like, please answer these questions for this person that works for this magazine or whatever. But that's easy peasy. So honestly, most of my time at this point is just like getting the creatives onto the next game. So,
wow, already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you wake up to pestering messages from people at the Gaming Outsider.
I mean, this is one of the ones that like it wasn't handed to me by Annapurna, right? So it's better. It's more fun. It's like these are the kind of things I look forward to. And it's not like I'm doing unpleasant stuff, but it's just not the same when you're told to do it, right? It's like, you don't know these people, you don't know this magazine, just please do this. When I try and have a couple that like I pick because I want to do them because I like the people or like the show or whatever. So yeah, fortunately, that's what Gaming Outsider is. It's like
thank you.
A by choice. Yeah.
It's all because we like Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, right.
So Annapurna, they must be a good partner then, right? Because I've been championing this game for years. It was announced like 2022, I want to say, for a 2023 release date.
Yeah,
and then that didn't happen. I assume they were nice and patient with you.
Well, I mean, it's like I'm going to try and tell that short story without getting myself into hot water. Yes, they are very supportive. They're a great partner. But, and I was kind of telling you this before we started recording, Annapurna Interactive now is a completely different group of people than they were for the first 4.5 years of Bounty Star. 100% different groups of people.
Wow.
So it's old news. It doesn't need to be dredged back up. But at some point, the entire Interactive company retired together, and then it was rebuilt. Rebuilt group is incredible, is amazing. So the thing with the previous group is that I think they loved Bounty Star, and they definitely loved us. They were very good to us. But they also were like, in their love of the game, like complicated things. They're like, hey, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Normal things that happen in a publisher relationship. But it was really, really taxing over time. So yes, they're awesome, but it's also kind of the reason things took as long as they did, and someone is saying a very kind thing. I can't wait for Bounty Star. Hell yeah. I love to see it every single time. Thank you so much.
Jackie Son in the chat had a comment there. I had to share that with you. That was pretty cool.
Love to see it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it so much. And it is kind of fun. Like, I can only do this when I've got a little bit of alcohol in me. Otherwise, it's like too emotionally intense. But it is fun to like go through the Steam discussions, go through like YouTube comments, and just kind of like look for fun feedback, right? I don't care about the nasty stuff. Like, I don't give a shit. That's fine. Like, that doesn't harm me. But it is fun to like to navigate it a little bit and find comments like that. Like, oh, this looks awesome. Been waiting for this for a while. That's a really fun thing to like kind of cherry pick from the internet to get a little bit of like late night cigar and tequila validation. So
little late night feel good.
Passing positivity.
I am so jealous of your ability to do that, man, because I would be just the complete opposite. I would be looking for the negative comments and be like, why does everybody hate this?
Sure. Yeah.
That's just a personal flaw on my part.
Right. I mean, it's completely understandable because it can hurt so badly. But I think I just got used to it after this long in the business. It's like, it was so much more toxic at the beginning of the internet, if you can believe that, where it's like before there was sort of like, cultural policies and protocol on like what you can really say before someone comes in and removes your comment, which is so much more disgusting 20 years ago. It's like, we were used to like death threats and like vulgar, terrible. So it's gotten better, but I think a lot of us my age kind of got used to it. Fortunately, it's just, we kind of don't perceive it that much anymore. And some of it's still funny. Like every now and then, someone really unhinged just like pukes something up at me, and it's so out of left field and so weird. It's like, this has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with my game. But now I kind of want to understand the pain you're in. Yeah. I won't be able to. It's an internet stranger, right? But yeah, I think I learned to do it, and I'm very fortunate about that.
I think the real fun comments will be when the game has been out for like a month or two, and then you get a really nasty comment from someone who says, this game is the worst thing ever, logged 4,000 hours.
Yeah. And we love that. We love that because it's like you just completely rendered your own comment stupid because we see how long you played it, and thank you. Like, we're going to send you a gift basket, right?
Yeah, I love the Steam reviews because they happen so often. Like someone puts 100 hours into the game and they're like, "There's just not enough to do."
Dog shit, hated it.
Like, where's the new content?
So crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, there's so many weird compulsions to spew that the spew itself rarely matters, right? Right. It's like the amount of time you played mattered. Like your lack of refund mattered. So
your lack of refund does matter. That's for sure.
What is it? 2 hours is the cutoff? Is that what it is now?
I assume so. It was that way, 10 years ago or so. But I don't refund stuff because I don't get mad at games when I buy them and don't love them.
I don't think I've ever done that. I've always been like, hey, you sold me on the trailer. I paid for the game. I'm not going to ask for a refund. Like I just,
I think of it like when you try a new restaurant. Sometimes you're just not going to like it.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I got a question for you. I want to kind of go back a bit. I know that this thing has been in development or whatever stages of development in the past 5+ years.
Yeah.
But what was the inspiration to combine Western with mech?
It was really, really just loving those things individually. I think that like the best way to do something, if you have a part of you that is an artist and wants to do original things, but you have a part of you that's authentic and wants to do authentic things, the best thing to do is just like combine things you love in a new way. To me, that kind of feels like the only way you can really like be authentic and be creative. So at some point I was like, I just looked up and said, there's not enough. I've not seen enough mechs in deserts. I'm not happy with the amount of mechs in deserts. So I'm just going to do that and make it as earnest as possible. It doesn't help that I grew up in the desert. I love the desert. I'm looking at it all the time. But yeah, it was really just like, what 2 fun things can I put together to make a newer fun thing? Wasn't even anything special. It was like, oh, I'm going to make a peanut butter and jelly out of these 2 weird things.
So is that what started it all? Like before you even had an idea of how the gameplay was going to be, you just wanted mechs in the desert?
I think with this one, I knew I was definitely itching really hard about a mech game. And at some point I was like, oh, desert, right. But the mech stuff, I think had already kind of been cooking for a little while. Okay. And more specifically, I was thinking about like how to turn Armored Core into something that is more about the melee than it is about the guns. Because Armored Core is flip-flopped, right? It's like you have these melee things, but they're very simple and they're in most of the games are not very fun. But I was very curious about flipping that formula. And so, yeah, like I said, that had already been cooking for a bit. And then at some point the desert thing went on top of that. And now we've got Bounty Star.
Well, with a love of mech games and Armored Core, does that mean there's going to be a lot of mech customization?
There is a lot of mech customization. There's Annapurna has done a series of videos in the last week. This was their idea. It was really cool. But in order to stress the mech customization to people that are, potential targets, we did a series of videos that are the main character talking to the viewer, and she's describing a mech build and describes why she picked the things in the build. So she'll be like, if you have to fight some dinosaurs today and you don't feel like killing them, here's a build I would suggest. Use your fireworks gun, use your melee trick heater. So she's describing some of the systems. And I wrote this fun dialogue and then had the actress record it, and she killed it. It's so fun. But all these videos are emphasizing like, yes, you absolutely can customize. There's like 7 different engine properties you can turn up and down, whole bunch of melee systems, whole bunch of firearms, all kinds of thermal stuff to fuck around with. So yeah, it is actually, it's not Armored Core level, of course, where you're like, you have to make a spreadsheet to keep track of what you've built, but it is customizable for sure. And there's a couple different ways in the game that we encourage you to play with all of it. So you can look forward to that.
Now does growing tomatoes enable you to have better melee?
So growing tomatoes allows you to make 3 of the different meals, and it's not in my head anymore, but there's a grid that describes what every ingredient does for Clem's brain. And if I recall, so it's fruits, vegetables, carbs, and sugar. Carbs and proteins. Proteins is for damage, carbs is for speed, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, cool. Literally, like growing tomatoes will either make you hit harder, make your gun shoot faster, make you run a little bit quicker, whatever it might be. But there's 15 meals, and they all use the different things you can grow. And then each one of them gives you like an ahead of bounty engine tweak, right? That lasts just for the bounty. So eat this thing if you want to run a little bit faster. Eat this thing if you want a little more hit points.
Okay, so the farming does play into the bounty hunting.
Yes, for sure. Almost everything does. Almost everything is just a way to pipe some kind of engagement back into the bounty hunting system. But ultimately, the point of all the garage stuff is to have a breath, like take a breath, right? Like
which is probably important for Graveyard Clem, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And she will explicitly talk about the value of like, sometimes, do a chore, right? Like don't just stay in the mode all day and sort of rattle your own flesh off your bones with combat. Like take a breath, do a chore, have some water, blah, blah, blah. So she's almost like relearning self-care almost, but yeah, it all pipes into the combat, and it's all meant to be a moment for pacing. Yeah. Like take a breath, do some chores. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you're going, oh, I hate chores, you literally don't ever have to do a chore. You're going to make less money than other people. You're not going to be as economic, but you don't have to do a single chore ever. Like once the game has taught you the chore the first time, you can never touch it again. So don't worry about that.
So are those upgrades that you're talking about, are those permanent, or are they like on that run? You know what I mean? You're going to be...
The meals are just one bounty, right?
Okay.
So the meal will give you the effects for the rest of the bounty. As you upgrade your engine, those are permanent. Okay. So all of these 7 values will slowly creep up, and then you can equip different things that also will change those values. And then you just take them off and you don't want them anymore. So what we're hoping people will do is like recognize a few like engine properties they really like I always like having more hit points. I like moving faster. And then they'll just kind of like orbit around those things. But yeah, some of it's just for the bounty, but most of it's it's a la carte.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What about making your mech look cool? Is that part of the engine that you're talking about, or are you going to be able to do some visual upgrades?
So we had, at the end of the day, I think we made 35 or 40 different paint jobs. So there's all kinds of paint jobs you can find in the world. You can't really do much with the mech, like you can't really change its shape. That's pretty set in stone. But of course, all the firearms and melee weapons have a cool appearance, but there's a whole bunch of paint jobs, and we had a lot of fun with those paint jobs because I let any artist on the team make them, right? So someone came in and said, hey, I had a weird thought over breakfast about this silly paint job as an idea. I would say just go do it. We borrowed an artist from the Mobius team like a handful of times, the Outer Wilds people. Also Annapurna. So there's this artist, shout out to John. We'd borrow him for a couple months at a time to help us with environment work. And he's like, hey, can I do a paint job? Yes, go ahead. We had like this brief intern who needed some work experience. He was from France. He's like, can I do a paint job? It's like, yes, go. So there's a huge, weird variety of paint jobs in the game, and they're all over the place. Find them out in the desert, find them in the store. And those are fun. People seem to like those.
That's really cool.
Scott, we should have sponsored Clem's mech, like
I know,
NASCAR
right?
style, like gaming outsider paint show.
There's a press kit about to show up at people's doors, a premium press kit, and there's a 5.5-inch figure of the mech in that press kit. I'm so excited because they made a point to make it resin, which means it's paintable.
Yeah.
So they even included instructions on because I paint miniatures, by the way. I've been a war gamer forever and ever. So a paintable 5.5-inch Clem mech is about to show up on a lot of people's doorsteps, including our own. And I'm really hoping we get to see some original paint jobs from weirdos out in the world. We'll certainly do a couple on our figures. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
I don't have an artistic bone in my body. Me painting that would be like, just dip it and I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But our former producer, Nate, is a very talented artist. Like he paints figures as well. And some of the stuff that he's shown me is pretty impressive. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just love the idea that you've got like different artists creating these different paint jobs in the game. So it's not like just, one artist ideas. It's like you're pulling all of these different people to just give their own flavor to each of these things. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of feels like that's how it would be in the world, like all of these paint jobs, like you'd have a small group that was from like this manufacturer and but then, this one's from this famous thief who was an artist. And this one was made by the city of Rosewater Bluff or whatever. So it does actually feel like kind of lived in and cool when you've got the whole variety of paint jobs at the paint machine. Yeah.
Well, it kind of helps make it feel like a DINOGOD game and not just a Ben Ruiz game.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Rules. Yeah. And some of them are paint jobs I never would have ever done myself. I was like, oh, that's what you want to do. But then the rest of the team was like, yeah, it's awesome. And it's weird. I'm like, all right, you're all right. You're all right. I'm wrong. So ship it.
I'm intrigued. Yeah. Are you okay talking like story setup?
Sure.
For people so I assume Clem, she must be trying to, the Morose tale of Graveyard Clem says to me like she has a dark past.
Yes.
So I assume she gets this little parcel of land to kind of help herself rebuild.
Unfortunately, I've gotten good at doing this without spoilers, so I'll hit you with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did this 1,000 times.
The Morose tale comes from a military tragedy. When you hit new game, it's the first thing you'll experience. So you'll see it firsthand. Yeah. It's sort of like the intro mission, right? Won't tell you what happens, but that's what happens. When the proper game loop starts, it's sometime after this terrible event, and she's depressed, she's guilty, she's addicted, and one of the characters that was with her in that tragic event is now the marshal of this game world, of the place she's in now. And he loves her, and that's his friend, or that's her friend. And he's just trying to get her to not die out in the desert from alcohol poisoning, right? So when the game loop starts, she's just trying to make enough money to move on. And her friend Jake is just trying to take care of her, but nothing goes as we planned. So things will happen, and then she will perhaps hopefully learn to be a white hat again, right? Like in the Western, you've got this idea of the white hat and the black hat. I know Zach knows this, but if you're a white hat, you're shooting for good. If you're a black hat, you're shooting for yourself. You're shooting for opportunity. And so she goes from white hat to black hat, and then hopefully puts that white hat back on. So, yeah.
All right.
I like it.
That sounds like some good stuff for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. It does feel authentically Western. We've gotten that feedback a lot. I'm super stoked about it. About halfway through the project, we had the previous leadership group was like, there are some rough edges on this. We'd like to bring in another writer. So they brought in this guy, Steve Lerner, who hugely responsible for the story of Stray, for 12 minutes, for all these great things. I found out that once I got to know him a little bit, he was also a big Western guy. He's from Wyoming. He almost got his own show off the ground that was about rodeos and rodeo drama. So we had a really good time, sawing the rough edges off of things. And he had these really cool ideas about if let's gunslinger this and white hat, black hat this. And so his brief brief interaction with the project also made things like even more nicely, authentically Western, and that was really cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm even more stoked now. Just like that story setup is awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad. And the that intro mission is like, it's like 10 minutes. It's not some big, crazy, drawn out thing. There's a little bit of cutscene at the end, but I think it'll be good. And then it's like our experience so far is that once people have gone through that and now they're playing the proper game loop 15, 20 minutes in, our experience is that most people are invested. It's like, awesome. That's great. Huge sign, right? Like we did something right in those first few moments.
Now, I know that you mentioned like the farming stuff in between. You've mentioned that it's kind of a bit of a way to break up the combat, just to kind of give you a break. But you've also mentioned that it's like completely optional. Like you don't have to do this stuff. You'll just progress a little bit slower than everybody else. Mm-hmm. So like to play this game optimally, is that the right word? At its optimum, what ratio are you looking at? Because like it's reminding me of one of my favorite rogues from a few years ago, Moonlighter, where you're going through the dungeon and then you come back and you're spending pretty much half the time, the same amount of time you were in the dungeon, managing your shop and making money to make your next run easier. So like what ratio are you looking at, or is like recommended in this game? How much mech fighting, how much farming?
Sure, yeah. And by the way, I loved Moonlighter. I thought that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Didn't play the second one. I always meant to. I would say that if you're the kind of action game lunatic that only wants, first of all, if you're the most amount of lunatic, just don't do any chores. Just don't bother. Just move on to the next bounty. There's 50 plus bounties in the game. Just go nuts. If you're the kind of this is more on my level. If you're the kind of lunatic that wants all of the systems, like you want to know that you have all the weapons and the guns and the engine parts, then make sure that you are making fuel and ammo, both brief chores. You only have to do them once a day. And a day in Bounty Star is like, you can there's a morning, afternoon, evening. It's abstracted. You can just sleep through it if you want, but make sure you're making ammo and fuel so that you're getting the most reward from your bounties, and capture goons whenever you can. You also don't have to capture anyone after the first time we make you capture, just so that you know the system. But capture people, make fuel, make ammo, and you'll have enough money to definitely buy all the systems before you get to Act 3. For everyone else, I just say, do the things that are fun. If you don't like farming, don't farm. If you like animals, do the animal stuff. There's chickens, there's little dinosaurs. You can take care of those. Just do self-pacing and you will be completely fine. Any chores you do will save you some money. So it's like, feel it out. If you like it, do it. And if not, fuck it, keep fighting. And there is a way to revisit old bounties, by the way. You can do those infinitely and also just make money that way. We really wanted to make sure that like any type of action game person wasn't going to be strung along, Right. Yeah.
I just love how versatile it sounds, because if you got someone that just wants to do the mech, they can do that. If you want someone that wants to do a good mix of it, you can do that. Maybe you got someone that, the fighting is fun, but they really want to do the farming aspect of it and focus on that, they can do it. You've got the option to make this game whatever it is you want it to be. And you don't get that too often. I think that's great.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. And what I really, really hope to see are like different types of couples. And I don't necessarily mean like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. I mean different types of like two gamer friends who are passing the controller back and forth, where it's like, I love combat stuff, but I don't give a shit about chores. And then they're sitting on the couch with their friend passing a controller. That's what I really hope to see. I hope I get to learn that that's happening at some point. And I want to know like who's who, right? Like, oh yeah, she does all the fighting and I do the boring stuff, right? And we have a great time. We loved it. I'm fingers crossed I get to hear that at some point.
Well, I know Jake's not here. He's normally one of the regular hosts on this show, and he has similar experiences with his wife.
Cool.
He and his wife play a lot of the survival type games where one person goes and gathers the resources, and the other person takes the resources and does something with it. You know what I mean? So this seems like it could be a game that works for them. Also, we had a comment from Aaron in our chat here. He said, "Just wishlisted. My curiosity has been very strongly piqued."
Awesome.
So,
thank you so much. Wishlisting, by the way, is it's the only reliable way for the developer to know how their thing is doing. So wishlisting in 100% of the time is super helpful for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's
helpful like subscriptions, right?
It's helpful for consumers too, because there are so many games coming out all of the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
That little email from Steam that's just like, hey, that wishlisted game's out. It's like, oh, really?
Huge. It is a super important feature, and we rely on it heavily.
Got another one as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
This is great. I can't wait to play it. And I didn't know until you were on the show that this was until I saw it in the notes here that it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yes, it is huge. We made that deal a couple years ago. And the money we got from that deal wasn't some enormous amount of money in terms of video games. It was a pretty enormous amount of money for us. And it put us in a financial situation that was really, really valuable. So I'm grateful for that deal. And I'm really glad that it's going to be free on Game Pass for some amount of time, because it definitely means like an amount of penetration that will be meaningful for us, right? Like I'm much more concerned with the game getting out there than the couple bucks we'll lose because it's free on one platform for X months or whatever. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that deal. I'm stoked it's happening.
Do you know how much the game will cost on storefronts?
I think what they're doing is, I've done a really good job of staying out of sales and marketing conversations wherever possible. I think it's 25. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. 25. Oh,
it's okay if you don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't remember. They certainly get my approval. They're like, "Hey Ben, how does this sound?" And I'm like, "Whatever you guys think, leave me alone."
Yeah, I just feel like
for sales, I don't want to talk about sales, but yeah, this is fine. Thank you.
So many smaller games, they don't put the price up before release. So
Sure.
I think,
yeah,
I don't know.
They've definitely, it's in all. I keep seeing the price in the press releases so they are doing a good job, but something about my brain is like, no, get that out of here. Gross.
That's one thing. We get so many PR emails, and there are so many times I want to send whoever is doing these, like, here's what we need to know, guys. We need to know the price. We need to know how long the game is. That is one thing that is never included in PR stuff, is like, tell us how long, because that is a huge factor when it comes to us deciding if we can review a game or not.
Of course.
Is the length, which brings me to my next question. Do you have an average length of Bounty Star here? How long is it going to take someone to get through this game?
Yeah, it's looking like this was so surprising, because I was hoping to have like a 8 to 12 hour experience. That's what my original goal was. After a couple years of dancing with the previous group, it was feeling like that had gone down to maybe like 4 to 6 to 7.
Really?
I am so surprised and delighted to say that where we actually got, according to our QA people who are crazy good at the game, they're telling us 20 to 30 hours. If you do everything, which blew my mind. So I think if you're just beelining through the game, 8 to 12. And then if you want to do everything, have fun, have a good 20, 30 hour experience, platinum all the bounties, et cetera, et cetera. We do have a platinum trophy, by the way. That seems to be a thing that matters to a lot of people. It's there. Go for it.
Nice. It's very exciting.
Go for it.
I try to get mini platinums.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, grab it. And we do have some fun achievements too. It's not just the arbitrary, like, congratulations, you're halfway through the game. Like, there's a handful of skill achievements in there, which we thought were fun. Yeah. But yeah, I think 8 to 12, which I'm super happy about. I prefer shorter games. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a golden number around here in the Gaming Outsider, 8 to 12.
Yeah.
I do have like one last kind of question inside baseball. You're out of sales and marketing, you're saying, but how in the hell in the modern world is a release date decided for a game of your size? Is it just throw a dart at a dartboard and just be like, that's good enough?
Well, so this, like I said, that we're an Annapurna Interactive 2.0 now, and these people are hyper organized, and a lot of them are very experienced. What I've noticed with them is that they're half flexible and half trying to put something on the board, right? So they go, we're thinking this date. How does that feel? We'll check in a week. And so they have kind of a really intelligent way of like making sure we've got a little bit of room, but also making sure there's a fire under our butts, right? And I think that's how it's probably done most of the time, because I can't imagine any other way. Fortunately, with Bounty Star, it's like by the time Annapurna 2.0 was built, the game was mostly done. So we didn't have a big dance with them. But yeah, my guess in most situations is that you're either working with the devs to pick a release date and hoping everyone is able to do what they got to do, or you're picking a release date, fuck the devs, whatever happens, and now we've got another game that's in terrible shape when it comes out, right? So who knows, man? This stuff's crazy to me because I can't imagine those big environments with hundreds of people. It's so wild.
Fingers crossed Silksong doesn't show up and ruin all of your plans.
Yeah. Well, and if you're a very wealthy small team, it's whenever you want, I guess, like just literally whenever you want. And hey, more power to you. But I've never been in that situation. So yeah, it's black magic to me.
I hear that weekend that GTA 6 is coming out. It's a great time to release a game.
Well, what's so funny is there was a crack about like games coming out in October earlier in the show, but we do that to not come out in November, December, because the major companies hog all of the attention, right? Yeah. But like October is now the new December for everyone else in the industry. Yeah. So we're all trying to get in before that holiday madness. And now it's just like October has become fucked too. So eventually it'll be like, now September is the new don't get fucked date, and et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see what happens. It feels like we're before the madness, but who knows?
Right. Well, Ben, I know we're a little bit short on time because you got to be somewhere in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap up. I could seriously sit and talk with you for at least another hour and a half.
I appreciate it. I have a lot of fun. Yeah.
This has been great, but we do got to wrap things up so you can get going. Just for everybody out there, we had some comments from people that had questions for you. I'm just going to ask one of our producers.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Just one quick one. He said, which is the superior console, the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis, and why is it the Sega Genesis? His words, not mine.
It's not the Sega Genesis, idiot. It's Super Nintendo. I'm not even going to take that setup question nonsense. No, I love both, but I don't think what is available on Sega Genesis doesn't hold a candle to what is on Super Nintendo. I'm sorry, in my opinion. If I had a choice, I would own both and have all of both of their games.
Right.
But if someone put a gun to my head, I'm taking Super Nintendo over Genesis 100% of the time.
Even though Genesis does what Nintendo don't?
I don't agree with that statement, and I'm not going to engage it. Genesis does. I do remember all that shit. Oh, yeah. So funny. Yeah. No,
well, it's been a blast. I really appreciate it. For all of us listening out there, I apologize we didn't get to all the comments. We just had a really great time.
We hogged Ben.
We hugged.
No, I had so much fun. Thank you so much, and thanks for putting positivity up on the screen for me. I really appreciate
it. All right, next week's topic, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't know if you guys heard, but that console turned 40 years old this past week.
Holy crap!
So we definitely have to have a from the outside in topic about that. So stay tuned to the socials for that. We're going to do some question associated around that, but that's going to do it for this week's The Gaming Outsider. Ben, thank you so much for being our guest. This has been an absolute joy.
For sure. Always. You guys are great.
And where can our listeners follow you in your work?
You can get anything that's going on with DINOGOD over at dinogod.com. And I don't do a lot of yapping online in the form of like Twitter or anything. So yeah, just check out dinogod.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. The episode was produced by Kevin Honigford. All the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website, as always, is stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. I've got a quick recommendation for you guys before we get out of here, kind of video game related, but I got to see Tron Ares this past weekend, which I am super sad that we are not going to get another one of these movies because this movie was way better than I thought it was going to be. I went into, what was the last one? Tron Legacy. I went into Tron Legacy super stoked, walked away kind of lukewarm. I went into this one expecting just a dud. The trailer did absolutely nothing for me. I'm telling you, this movie's great. If you're a original Tron fan, you're gonna want to add this one, and please go see it in the theater so that we can hopefully get another one, because they do some stuff that makes me want another one, and they need it to sell well for that to happen. So
good to hear.
Yeah, I was shocked, and the soundtrack. Oh my God, that soundtrack is good. I'm not even a big Nine Inch Nails fan, and that soundtrack is just great.
Yep.
One other quick one. I'm late to the party on this one, but I discovered actually Brandon Smith, who was in town for R2V2, showing off his game. He actually crashed at my house while he was here. He introduced me to a movie called Companion, which is available on HBO. If you can go into this, have you seen this one, Zach?
I mean, I've seen the trailer.
Why
not? Yeah. Sorry that I've seen. No,
I know. No. This is. I had no idea what this is about, and I went in blind. And I recommend, if you have not seen this movie, go into it blind, because the premise is freaking fantastic, and I just thought it was a really fun movie. So it's worth a watch. It's got
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid, thank you. He's the main. I did not know anybody else in the movie, but there are lots of twists and turns. The movie opens with a girl meeting his character at a supermarket and says, I had these feelings twice. I had these feelings the first time I met Josh, and the second time was when I killed him. And that's how the movie opens. And then it fast forwards to the rest of the story. If that doesn't hook you,
that's good.
It's good, and then there are way more surprises after that. So Companion, it just dropped on HBO. I highly recommend it. And Weapons drops on HBO next week. If you have not seen that, watch that movie. It's so good. All right. Thanks again, Ben. It's been a blast. Yes. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.